In the business world, it is common to hear the words plan and strategy used as if they were the same thing. However, this confusion can lead to serious mistakes when making decisions and managing a company. After all, is a plan the same as a strategy? The truth is that, although both are essential for success, they have very different functions and objectives. That is why understanding this difference is essential for anyone who wants to position their business intelligently in the market. And that is exactly what we will show here in an efficient way. According to a video from Harvard Business Review, Roger Martin, a renowned global strategist, argues that a plan is not synonymous with strategy. Although detailed plans with goals, initiatives, and budgets are comfortable for a company, starting with a plan is not the path to a good strategy. According to Martin, an effective strategy must leave the comfort zone, going beyond conventional planning and avoiding common pitfalls. The focus should be on making tough choices and identifying unique ways to achieve goals rather than following a predefined roadmap. While planning and strategy are often confused or even combined under the label of strategic planning, it is very important to understand that these two practices are distinct. Therefore, mixing them without considering their differences can hinder business success. What is a plan? A plan, in its essence, is the organization of the activities that the company intends to carry out in the future. A typical plan in an organization might include initiatives such as improving the customer experience, opening a new store, or implementing a talent development program, for example. However, although these items may look good on paper, they often do not lead to satisfactory results because they often lack a solid strategic foundation. Planning tends to be an easier process because it focuses on what the company can control, such as the resources that will be allocated, the hires that will be made, and the products that will be launched, among others. Thus, a plan deals with the cost of operations, something that is under the company's control. This process can be described as a safe play, in which the organization decides how much to spend and what to invest in. However, the results of these efforts often fail to achieve the desired impact, mainly because planning does not address external market dynamics or how the company positions itself relative to its competitors. In this way, a list of activities does not constitute a strategy, because it does not define how the company will compete and win in the market. What is strategy? While planning focuses on activities, strategy is concerned with making integrated choices that allow the company to position itself competitively in its industry. According to Roger Martin, a strategy is a coherent set of decisions that positions the company on a playing field of its choice, allowing it to win. This implies a theory behind these choices. For example, why be in a particular market, and how to be better than the competitors in serving the customers in that market. Unlike a plan, a strategy deals with uncertainty. A strategy cannot be fully proven in advance. In other words, the company makes a bet, even on an informed basis, based on an analysis of the market and the competition, on how to win customers and obtain satisfactory financial results. Unlike planning decisions, a strategy does not only deal with what is under the company's control. It deals with external factors, such as customer behavior, which the company cannot directly predict or control. The example given by Roger Martin to illustrate this point is that of the North American airline Southwest Airlines. At the beginning of its trajectory, Southwest Airlines seemed irrelevant to the large airlines in the United States. While its competitors were focused on planning routes and increasing their fleets, Southwest developed a clear strategy to offer an alternative to long-distance bus services with a more convenient and affordable air service. The company adopted a series of integrated strategic decisions, such as flying only with specific aircraft, operating direct point-to-point flights, and encouraging customers to book tickets online. These choices created a low-cost model that allowed Southwest to grow rapidly, while its competitors, focused on traditional planning, lagged. Difference between planning and strategy. The main difference between a plan and a strategy is the focus. The plan concerns the resources that the company controls, such as costs and investments. On the other hand, the strategy deals with the results that the company wants to achieve in the market, involving variables outside its control, such as customer acceptance and the behavior of the competition. Another important point is coherence. A plan can be a list of disconnected initiatives, such as the launch of a new product or the construction of a new store. A strategy, on the other hand, needs to have an internal logic, a common thread that unites all actions around a common goal, to win and stand out in the market. Planning is often a way to avoid the discomfort of uncertainty. We often see managers opting for what they can prove and control. And this is offered by planning, which can provide the sense of security as it involves actions that are under the company's control. However, this approach often ignores what is important: how the company will compete and win. The danger of planning without strategy. Planning alone without a strategic basis can lead to failure. While the company is busy planning and allocating resources, competitors who are focused on formulating and executing strategies may be figuring out how to win in the marketplace. In the Southwest example we mentioned, the major US airlines, for example, were playing to participate. That is, they were concerned with expanding their operations without a clear strategy to outperform their competitors. Meanwhile, Southwest, with a well-defined strategy, managed to capture a significant share of the market by offering a more affordable and efficient service. The lack of strategy left the major airlines with a smaller share of the remaining market because Southwest took the part it wanted for itself. How to work on these 2 points. If you or your company is stuck in the trap of a plan without a strategy, the first step is to recognize that strategy will always bring a certain degree of anguish, because strategy deals with uncertainty. And as a manager, you will need to accept that you cannot predict everything in advance. And this uncertainty is not a sign of bad management, but rather of visionary leadership, because it opens up the possibility of achieving something truly great. The second step is to ensure that your strategy has a clear and well-defined logic. Ask yourself, what needs to be true about the market, competitors, and customers for our strategy to work? This will allow you to watch events unfold and make adjustments as needed. Keep in mind that strategy is a journey. It's not something you do once and then forget about. As the market changes, your strategy needs to be adjusted, refined, and improved. Another important point is to avoid making your strategy overly complicated. If you can't write it down on a single page, it may need to be simplified. Simplicity brings clarity. Clarity allows the entire company to understand and execute the strategy effectively. While planning is an important part of business operations, it cannot replace strategy. Know that planning without a strategic foundation is very dangerous. It can cause your company to lose a lot of competitiveness in the marketplace. Strategy, on the other hand, involves integrated choices that position the company to win in its field. By accepting the uncertainties associated with strategy and developing a clear logic for your actions, your company can significantly increase its chances of success. So, if you want to understand how to work on strategic planning for your business, write strategic planning in the comments. If you get enough comments like this, we will be happy to develop content on this subject for you.
We hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to know more about how to set up and manage your own business, visit our YouTube channel where we have several videos about this subject, and if you liked it, share this video with your friends and family to help them too. Thanks and see you next time.